Welcome to Podcast of All Podcasts. Enjoy best moments of podcast history.
Stone Temple Pilots. Sex type thing. Pete Holmes with Adam Carolla.
Where I like working on the cars, I like working on the homes, I like.
Is that meditative for you when you work on a car, when you do carpentry? Are you trying to shut your brain off?
Hold on,
in
should
those
I
moments?
put my earphones? Are we
You can if
started?
you
Have
want
we
to.
started?
Yeah, we just started.
Oh, we just started. Oh, okay, good for us.
I like the seamless merge of let's talk about traffic and Glendale and Lake Hollywood into
Yeah.
the show. Everybody knows this is Adam Carolla. We don't really do an intro.
I dig it. I like the balance, and I mean, I think in life, you know that thing where you go like, "Hey man, you want to go out to dinner?" And then your buddy goes, "Hey man, that's cool." And then you go, "I'm in the mood for Thai." And then he goes, "Ooh, I had Thai for lunch."
Yeah.
I always want to fucking punch that guy. And I never trust him. Let me smell your breath, bitch. I want a stool sample.
Let me smell your breath, bitch. Already a best-selling T-shirt on YouMadeItWeird.com.
But we're like the only culture in the world that goes, "Ooh, you ate Thai last week."
Yeah.
Well, I guess it's off the list for this week.
Yes.
And my wife will do it. We'll bring home, Japanese food or Chinese food, and she'll go, "What are you eating tonight?" And I'll go, "I'm heating up the Chinese food." And she'll go, "You ate that last night?" Like I'm a maniac. Like, what's everyone in fucking China do?
Yeah,
they toggle between Hungarian and Chinese food.
Yeah.
So the thing is Chinese food is great. And Mexican food is great, and Thai food is great. But if you had to eat it every day, you'd be pissed off. So is it great, or is the balance great? And I think it's the balance.
So you're saying fixing a car is your Thai food? Kind of?
Yeah. If podcasting is my Mexican food, then, home improvement would be my Greek food. And then masturbation is dessert. That's the frosting on the cake, as they like to say.
Oh, Jesus.
But the point is the balance, right? Doing something other than you were doing the day before.
This is right up your alley. I bet this grinds your gears. Is if you're at a restaurant, let's say you and I are at a restaurant, and you order what I'm going to order, and then I say, well, I was going to get that, and now I can't get that.
Right.
I'm a big proponent of just order the same thing.
Yeah, there is a lot of... by the way, as if the waitress is judging, like she's running back and talking to all the Mexicans in the kitchen. Guess what? What? Okay. This one guy who I don't know, he ordered the eggs Florentine, right? And then the other guy who I don't know was going to get the eggs Florentine, but went with the eggs Benedict, but then went back with the Florentine, and they both got the same thing. And are you sitting down? When I asked one of them if he wanted a coffee, the other one nodded his head and said, "Me too." These guys are like joined at the hip.
Unoriginal. Well, I think there's something men are threatened. If it were you and I, two dudes,
yes.
There's something threatening about us getting the same thing.
There's something homoerotic about it.
It's homoerotic, I suppose. I think that's what people think. I don't think it is.
I always think it's funny, and I've gotten this waitress. I get these people all the time. The people ask you a question and then shove the answer in a tenth of a second before you provide it for them. They go, coffee. How would you like that? Black? And you're like, I was about to say, but you cut me off. Like you asked.
They took your power
and then you
away.
Provided your own answer.
They wanted to be multiple choice.
In a millisecond, I would have said a little milk, but you jumped in and said black. And they do this. Now, this is funny. Like if you go out with a guy and he orders like a BLT and he goes, "No mayo," and you go, "Yeah, I'll have a BLT too," and she'll go, "Also no mayo." And I always want to go, "Yeah, that's how we met. We have nothing else in common, but we were attending an anti-mayonnaise seminar, and we hooked
dummy
up."
Pattern recognition part
like
of a mammal. They go, "You don't want mayo, you don't want mayo too," because you're the same circle. I call tables circles.
It's a weird thing, but yeah, people are wildly dumb, and like
dumbest.
The people are the dumbest. We are by far the dumbest.
So dumb.
We're so fucking dumb. And there's a thing, and it's kind of the same thing, which is like there's a little bit like of I'm on a roll, like, well, no mayo, no mayo, no mayo, no mayo. Like I got a little momentum, little momentum rolling.
Momentum.
And I've said to guys, because I've worked in these shops for a million years, and they're a mess, and at some point I go, look, we got to organize all this stuff, put the screws with the screws and the nails with the nails. And I always have this thing where it's always the batteries are going to end up with the chapstick because they're the same size. Like the AA battery will eventually get put with the chapstick.
Of the grouping.
They'll get grouped because why? They're approximately the same shape. They do not serve anywhere near the same purpose.
The thermoses are going to be with the surface-to-air missiles, and the chapstick is going to be
with the batteries. And if you put chapstick in your universal remote, you'll be sorely disappointed.
That is such a burned observation. That's an observation like not even worth, like you wouldn't normally remember. I'm so glad that you remembered. It's a mild observation, but it's really ringing true with me.
You start just putting things, and it doesn't matter because I'll go take your time, be organized, and remember, put, the wing head nuts with the wing head nuts and the finish screws with the finish screws and the machine screws with the machine screws. And at some point, and this is what happens with all dumb people and all bad students, they're in the game for about 35 seconds, and then the tune-out factor is through the roof. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they sit down, they look at the, algebra equation, they focus on the first one, and the next 29 can be damned. And so there's a moment in time when they're going, all right, I'm going to put the batteries with the batteries and the chapstick with the chapstick, but at a certain point, There's a heavy tune out. And it's hard to be tuned in and work on a conveyor belt.
Yep, that's true.
You know what I mean? I mean, imagine...
You're not supposed to.
That's the whole thing. Like, if you're just putting heads on Barbie dolls that are coming down a conveyor belt, how tuned in can you be before your brain eats itself? I mean, literally, you'll go insane if you're in the moment.
It's a survival instinct to not think. Well, that goes back to my question. When you work on a car, you do carpentry. Is that your zen? Is that meditative for you? Does that quiet your mind?
I love the problem-solving part of life, and I love coming up with ideas, and I love... I love coming up with creative ways to solve problems. And the carpentry stuff and the fixing of the cars and all that kind of stuff, it's just one sort of problem-solving
It's
equation.
For the feeling of the success. You found a way around that problem.
And I like the fact that it's tangible. Like, I really love the physical. I love the cars.
Yeah. Is it because comedy is so intangible that you want to get into something that's like Daniel Day-Lewis when he's not acting cobbles shoes.
Really?
Everybody that listens to this show knows I love Daniel Day-Lewis. Because he can't fucking take it anymore. He can't take everyone loving him for make-believe. He thinks it's so bullshit because he's so awesome.
Sure.
So then he goes to, like, Italy and cobbles shoes where no one knows who he is. I think that's badass. So he can touch the shoe. You can build a chair, presumably, and then be like, look at this chair. Whereas you and I will have this podcast, and we'll be like, that was a good podcast, hopefully. And then at the end, you'll just be like, and where is it? It's gone.
Just up in the ether.
My dad and my mom doesn't even know what a podcast is. They know what a chair is.
Right.
So you like that?
That's true. I like that. And they know what a shoe is,
They do know shoes. They don't know who Daniel Day-Lewis is, though.
Really?
I don't think so. My mom referred to the movie, the celebrity, rather, Celine Dion as Salon Dijon. That's real. And it was listed as her favorite recording artist, Salon Dijon. That happened.
There is a certain
real.
age you get to where you
don't
just
care.
You don't care.
Even the things you give a shit about, you don't give a shit about because life has become that conveyor belt with the Barbies on it, and you're tuned out, man.
You're tuned out, and
it's all the same.
You're just looking at the end of the conveyor belt, and there's a coffin there, and you're just like, all the Barbies are falling into the coffin, and you know you're falling in next, and you're like, oh, fuck it.
So you tune out. There's a self-preservatory side of tuning out.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, yeah, there is, because if you look at if you look at like sort of the ultimate tune out, that's I don't even know I'm here, so how can I die if I'm never alive?
Right.
And then there's a sort of a tune in where you're so fucking tuned in, you're like, you know what's on the sheet of that hotel room I'm renting?
Right.
God knows, if I had a woods light,
exactly,
there'd be a pentagram and jizz on there, and God knows the microscopic bed mites and all the other things, and what's in this hot dog, and what's going on in Darfur. You know what I mean? Like, there's a part of you that can get so tuned in that you literally couldn't put anything in your mouth.
Right.
Because where it would have traveled from, and
of
forget
course.
about the hot dog. What's in the bun? How much rat fecal matter's in that bun?
This coffee we're drinking probably
Holy
has rat
shit.
feces in it. Absolutely.
Well,
I'll give you another example. If you think about your heart, if you just stop right now and think about your heart, it freaks me out. It freaks me out. I don't know about you. If you just think about my
have
lungs.
A heart, but
I knew that about you, so I'm sorry.
No, I know. And you're like, oh my God, what if it stops?
Right.
Or what if I fall asleep and forget to breathe?
You're not going to enjoy the Bourne Ultimatum. Second Bourne Ultimatum reference.
That's right. You're not.
You're going to fucking freak out the whole
There's
thing.
a nice tune-out factor. There's a nice part where you can just get really pumped up about the next Hulk movie that's coming out.
Yes, the Avengers.
Bizarre fantasy,
You
whatever.
don't care about the Avengers if you stopped and thought about how much shit is in your food.
Right. So that's my point, or what's going on, or where this coffee cup's going to end up, and the dolphin it's going to kill.
That's fucking true, man.
Right.
You're fucking right. Garbage is...
Theo Von with Whitney Cummings. It's great.
That's like great. I walk into the Comedy Store and I'm like, I've got swagger. I'm like, I know this is gonna kill, but right now I'm like trepidatious, and it's like you're between Mark Maron and Sebastian, and you're just like, oh God, like, you know. So I think a lot of times when I'm at the Comedy Store now, I'm just like, do I try that new joke, or do I eat shit with my new joke, or do I kill with an old joke that someone might have already seen, and then I get all in my head about it. I think the more I do comedy, the more nervous I get. It's weird.
Oh, that's interesting.
And I don't think I was confident in my 20s. I think I was just unconscious.
Right, and you're also more you're learning something then.
Yeah.
So there's nerves in that, but there's also there's trepidation because it's trial and error.
Totally.
Whereas now it's a little more like, okay, I know what I can do.
Yeah.
But now there's maybe a different type of. It's not like you're learning it. It's just now you're maybe have some real nerves because it's. You know what you can do, and then this is just a new thing.
It's also a landmine. It's like now, like stuff has changed so much since we started. Like there's more comics. Like, you know, I want to see what other comics are doing to make sure I'm not doing anything similar, because then there's going to be a YouTube video that you've stolen something, or like you just got to like, I think, be more on your game now. Like I don't want to get on stage and get sloppy and say something by accident that's being videotaped and gets taken out of context.
Like this podcast, like on Tucson LPM.
What is this? I mean, this is like real dumb. It is. My career is gonna end today on my drive back to the Valley. But yeah, I think you just have to be more on point now. You know, it used to be comedy used to be a little more casual for me, but now it's just sort of like, oh, if that's taken out of context, then I'm, you know, sexist. If that's taken out, it's racist. You know, you just got to be like awake. You know.
Well, do you feel? I mean, it's so funny. Like, you know, they had. Like when I hear stories of like I'm sober, like I'm almost 2 years sober,
That's
right?
awesome.
Thanks, I appreciate it, man.
Awesome.
It's interesting. I mean, I would do some fucking. I'd do an 8-ball right now if
I must say,
showed up.
Like, and I think you know this, but you just like, phoom. I mean, it was like in the last 2 years when you have that clarity and all the energy, you know, it's like, it is just, I mean, it's weird because 2 years ago, almost like to the day, I started hearing people be like, yo, have you seen Theo's new set? Like, have you seen what Theo's up to? Like, I started hearing about it.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? One of the things that made me feel good was one time you said to me, it wasn't even long ago, you're like, yeah, everybody just keeps saying you're so funny. And for some reason, I think even hearing that come from like a woman, I think, in a weird way.
Why?
Just made me feel like, because dudes always like are in that thing, but you always feel like, because I think as a growing up, like I remember when I was in maybe 6th grade, like there was this girl that I was in love with, and I think
in 6th grade.
Oh, dude.
How old are you in 6th grade?
Honey, I felt
12, 13.
Yeah, 12, 13.
What? That's not love. That's
I was
just
80% heart. Dude, look and listen to this. I had a man's dick since I was about 4. So imagine, my dick's been the same size since I was 4. They told me.
Who's they?
They told me. People at the medical facility, doctors, everybody.
Medical
Locals,
facility?
Dude,
we get it. You grew up rich. You had a medical facility. Okay. You had health insurance. Cool.
Every sports coach, dude. I remember one sports coach taking a picture of it who was not even a pedophile.
You know that's illegal.
But he wasn't a pedophile. It was just like...
Yes, he was.
No, it was like looking at the nice tires on a truck. It was like, dang.
Okay, so I am obsessed with when you realize you were molested, like the day you realize. Dude, no. We just caught it. No. Here it is. # time's up. I'm here. Theo has come forward against his childhood basketball coach who took a picture of his dick. I know the story you're telling yourself.
Right.
It was like a tire on a car. You were molested, Theo.
No, it wasn't.
Is this a bad time to...
I was molested by Kodak, dude. I'll tell you this. I bet it took him a couple extra minutes to develop that shot because I was throwing some real heat. But I remember Coach being like, hey,
it wasn't 1 hour.
Daniel.
My dick was so big, it wasn't 1 hour photo. It was 3-day photo.
Coach Daniel, I need you in here to see this boy's dick, man.
That's illegal, and that's molestation.
No, it was people who were partying.
Is it molestation or molestation?
I mean, molestation.
Why are we saying he put
it's something that Bill Murray's going to be in. It's a movie that he's coming in out next year. Yeah, or it's like, I think somebody touched me. Someone
kept fondling my mole. My mole just happens to be on the tip of my dick.
Dude, what a great YouTube fucking sequence this is. Somebody that just sneaks up on people and touches their fucking mole.
Depending on where it is, that can be very illegal and get you on meganslaw.com. So what else
Or
happened?
Angie's List, which I mix up all the time. Can we change the name of one of them?
Is it Megan or Angie?
Well, here's the thing. You go on you get into these Megan's Law sites, next thing you know, you're looking for a carpenter. Next thing you know, you're fucking molested. You know?
Wait, you go on Megan's Law looking for a carpenter?
Well, you easily could.
You know what? They would build a children's nursery for you.
I'm just saying there's a lot of things going on out there that people are not looking into.
It's true.
But I remember, so going back to what we're talking about, I remember being like, you know, in 5th grade or something, and I was in love with this girl, right?
Okay.
In love. Like, everything I knew. Like, I mean, I was just sprouting aortas every fucking day thinking about this girl. Like, and just my rib cage is just full of just blood for this woman.
You're such an artist, Theo.
And
you really are like a spoken word poet.
I don't know.
You are. I mean that.
I mean, those people end up fucking usually selling sandwiches out of a fucking van.
No, but you have a very, what's the word? Florid? Is that the word? Florid? Look that up. It's like, you have very like flowery delivery.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I remember the only way I could express to this girl that I liked her was
Florid. Having a red or flushed complexion, elaborately or excessively intricate or complicated. Well, that makes it seem pejorative.
having a red flush complexion. I still probably definitely have 3 milligrams of Cialis in my system from probably a couple days ago. Because I'll pop a 10 milligram just to fucking hit the streets.
What does Cialis do?
Just makes you feel a little bit of fluff, you know?
No, but I mix up Cialis with... Like,
they're all the same.
Are they?
Yeah.
All the antidepressants?
Oh, no. I mean, this is an antidepressant for sure.
Do?
Erection.
Really?
Makes you stout.
Okay. I thought that was Viagra.
Gives you that Friar Tuck. You know what I'm saying,
right.
bro?
Who?
That bow staff.
Please don't call me bruh.
Sorry.
Thank you.
Young lady.
Okay. Thank you.
Not little lady, though.
This is a lady. I have a lot of rules.
No.
For someone this sleepy, I have a lot of rules.
But no, this is when women need to have the most rules, ladies. When you're feeling...
I'm about to pass out, and I just want you to know that I have strong boundaries, and I will sue you if you try to penetrate any of my orifices.
Oh, wow.
This is where I really... This is... You know what a Nantucket sleigh ride is? It's when you... It's when you kill a whale, and it retaliates that whales and mammals are the strongest right when they're about to die.
Oh, wow.
It's like their final burst of energy, and that's me right now. This is my Nantucket sleigh ride.
Damn, this is
Do not call me lady.
And
I just want to make you as least attracted to me as possible.
I feel like I've always been the same amount attracted to you, kind
Really?
of. Yeah. But I'm going to finish this brief story real quick. So I was in love with this girl. The only way I could express it to her was in my primal ways at this time.
Yeah.
I saved one day, I think it was Valentine's.
Yeah.
I saved all the spit in my mouth one day during class, right? And after class, I ran up behind her and just spit it all right into her hair. And that was like, for me, it was like, this is...
What did you think you were going to accomplish by that?
I just hope that somehow through it, maybe through the genetics of it and all almost like an
genetics of
ocean,
it?
like the ocean that had been going on in my mouth, the ocean of the fucking high and low tide of this saliva, just the little...
The more sober you get, the more on drugs you seem.
Really? That's great.
It's pretty great.
But I think I just wanted... but that's how, like, just nervous...
Was it like a possessive? Because spitting on someone is a very degrading thing. It's going on out there, FYI, out in the streets. There's a lot of spitting in the face happening. Hashtag Tinder. And I feel like it was like you were trying to own her in a way, or just get your genetics onto her lower back.
I think I just thought this was the only way. And I did hair, you know?
You did hair?
I spit into her hair.
Got it. Oh, right.
Yeah, and I'm not... I mean, this is just... When I look back on it now, I'm like, this is the only way...
Now, if you love a woman, you spit on the front side of their head. Yeah. So you weren't that far.
Now I'll just lick under their chin.
You were close. Is that a thing?
No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's
If a guy did that to me during sex, I would not be able to stop laughing for like 45 minutes.
It's called the Virginia Mud Trail. Have you heard about that? It's
no,
okay.
I thought it was the Nantucket wine tasting.
Yeah, it's different now. That's when you had a
Nantucket sleigh ride intersects with something licking your face.
Yeah, that's when you eat grapes out from under somebody's arm, I think. And that's a Marina Del Rey wine tasting. But no, what were we talking about before I got into that? Why I was talking about feelings?
Well, I have lots of questions about the coaches that took pictures of your dick. Because I'm filing a suit after this, so I'm just trying to collect data because I am your defense attorney.
Bitty basketball, son.
We are going to get
6 and 4 one year.
Millions of dollars.
Go Blazers, baby, Blazers.
6 and 4 a good score?
It's not that great.
It's not great when your coaches are jerking off to your girth of your dick.
Well, they weren't jerking off. It was admiration. It was like, you ever been to Rome where you go look at the statues and stand there and then you walk away with your wife and go get some pizza? Just like that.
You have to pay like $300 to look at all that shit. No, it's not enjoyable at all. I went to Rome, and to go see the Sistine Chapel, it was like $800. I was like, fuck art.
What do you mean? You can afford that.
I know, but I mean, even if you have $801, you can technically afford it. That doesn't mean I'm about to write that check.
Right.
You know?
Right.
To see a bunch of shit I've already seen in textbooks for 30 years.
Yeah.
Now that Instagram makes me, I'm like saw this thing, I really want to go to Greece, and I saw a bunch of photos on Instagram, and I was like, I got it.
Yeah.
I'm good.
I get it.
You know, I get it.
But do you seem like you get over things quickly? Like you can kind of like move on to things quickly?
Depends on what it is.
Right.
You know, like a lot of times I'll plan vacations just as a form of procrastination, just to like get myself the dopamine and to just organizing something, just because I want to feel productive, but I don't want to actually do work. And it's because I have such bad perfectionism, I get very, what is it? Perfectionism leads to procrastination, which leads to paralysis in work. So what I'll do if I can't like finish something or write a joke, I'll just start like planning trips and just never follow through with going. I mean, I won't pay for this shit.
But just putting it together and stuff, it's like exciting.
Yeah, it's just a way to, it's like, because organizing things and planning things reduces cortisol. So it's like just a good way to kind of get right. And then you sort of like get out of your system. It's like watching porn or something.
Yeah.
It's like my porn. I look at houses and vacation rentals.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, I go to Airbnb and just like be like, see all these fancy houses, and I'm like, I need to work harder, and then I can go.
What do you set your price range at on Airbnb?
Oh, great question. It depends. If I'm actually staying there, I'll set it like $200 to $300. But if I'm
Joe Rogan with Bryan Callen.
What? He goes, yeah, you got to start believing in yourself more. You
Sounds like an acting coach who was trying to fuck you.
He goes, you got to start thinking of yourself as a first banana.
Did he say this when he was in his underwear?
He did. I was wearing
about to pull his
black
junk
lace
out.
on it. He goes, put these black lace undies on. There you go, and I'm going to pierce your nipples. Now listen, what's that? Why do you smell like cologne?
It's a leopard seal.
This is weird. So he says that to me, and I'm a young actor, and I'm fucked up over it. I'm like, I got to get better. I got to get higher self-esteem. So I say to my buddies, kind of a group of guys, one of my buddies older and wiser, and I said, man, I was told I have low self-esteem, and I heard a voice in the back over there goes, thank God. And I go, huh? And they go, you really think you'd be this funny if you fucking liked yourself, bro? And you think you'd be a fucking actor if you liked yourself? Go fuck yourself. That guy's an asshole. Keep hating yourself. It's the best part of you. And
Maybe that's how that guy tanks men.
Fuck, I know. I was like, you're right. I like that.
Yeah.
The whole point, the whole thing that drives me is the fact that I've never been satisfied with myself. And I'm never going to lose that. If you make me really happy with myself, I'm not so sure it's a good thing.
You know what you got to figure out how to do, I think, not you, but I think humans, to somehow or another disconnect you from the result. If you can figure out a way to disconnect you from the result, you could look at it more objectively. You're going to feel the sting of failure. It's a fact. But you have to recognize what that is and intellectualize it. You got to put it in this little box. Okay, this is good because now I'm going to be fucking pumped up to improve. I'm going to recognize the urgency in failure because it's so extremely uncomfortable. But that's not me. What me is the person who's doing this, and I'm eventually going to be a finished product. I'm going to figure this out. But right now, that little thing that happened that sucks, like, okay, don't freak out. Everybody fucks up. Maybe you fucked up this way, but you didn't run into someone's car. Maybe you did run into someone's car, but you didn't do this. Everybody's got their own little fuck
Failure
up.
is a huge part of
It's
success.
a giant part of being a human. You got to understand the consequences of doing something incorrectly.
Yeah.
And especially the humiliation feeling of being like put in your place. Like you might think you're good at something and then you fail at it. You go, oh my God. Like I had this elevated sense of how good I was at this thing. Now I have to look at it more objectively and I have to get to that place where I thought I was. Mm-hmm. Yeah, just people don't want to work.
Well, I had Andy Galpin. Have you had Andy Galpin?
He's great.
Very smart guy.
Brilliant guy.
I said, what's best for recovery? And he goes, why do you want to recover? I said, what do you mean? He goes, well, why don't you let your body adapt and figure it out? Just eat some food, see how it feels, but maybe suffer a little bit and see what that does because your body might have to compensate and get stronger as a result.
Sure.
It's kind of an interesting way of looking at it. I was like, well.
I think there's definitely something to that. I mean, I think that's why people push. Right? That's what pushing is. It's forcing adaptation. Your body's going, oh my God, this asshole wants to deadlift now.
Right.
Okay, I've got to adapt now. That's also what the sauna is. Your body's trying to adapt. Okay, this asshole wants to live at 170 degrees. I have to figure out how to keep everything from shutting down. Let's mass produce these heat shock proteins and try to figure out, how to get norepinephrine.
It's also what like being honest with somebody is, right? So. Like, it's also kind of like sitting and hearing things you don't want to hear about yourself, maybe shortcomings, right?
Sure,
So when somebody says something to you, like you're not working hard enough, or you're not working correctly, or you did this wrong, or your ideas are a bit bankrupt, let me tell you why.
Yeah.
That shit is not fun
at all
to hear.
No.
But it's exactly like working out. If you could just sit and listen and take it in, not argue it, listen, take it in, feel bad for a while. I promise you, that's probably the best way to change. Listening and hearing it because it'll bother you. Let it bother you, and then let that spurring you to action. But if you want to shout Christina Summers down, or you want to get into your safe space and not hear those things because they hurt you, this is why they're
but that's
categorizing.
only part of the problem. The real problem is a control power problem. There's control and power problems because these are 18-year-old kids and they've just gotten away from home for the first time and they want to exercise their power. They want to change the world, and they're fucking babies.
Yeah,
they have
true.
half-baked brains and they want to yell shit out, and they think that they're doing the right thing. They really do. And they were yelling outside, "You can't have we won't have fascists in our school." Did you see Jordan Peterson was doing a speech and they were literally at the windows? They climbed the walls and got to the windows and were banging on the windows from the outside while the speech went on.
Wow.
Dude, it's disturbing.
Yeah.
And everyone inside is super calm, and there's people that keep an eye on the window because you hear it cracking. Like they're just smashing this fucking window, just banging up against it the entire time he's talking. You just hear bang, 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 bang. And they're yelling shit outside about fascism, or it's like they don't even know what the fuck that means.
No, they don't.
Like they literally are just saying it for anybody who disagrees with them.
Yeah.
When a real fascist comes along, they're going to be so duped.
Well, no, they'll be shot. They'll be lined up against a wall and shot. That's what fascists do. Real fascists.
But they seem to think that disagreeing with people who are out of their fucking mind,
they don't have any confidence.
Equates fascism.
They have no confidence, right? So if
Why
you're
do you say
having
that?
because if you're having an argument with somebody and you end up hitting them because they're saying things you don't like, it means you don't have the ideas to compete with their ideas.
I don't think it's that, dude. I think they're just young and they don't understand what the fuck they're doing. They're enjoying this ability to scream out.
It's like
they're practicing.
tantrum. Yeah.
They've got way too much power. They're children.
Yeah.
They're essentially children.
Yeah.
They could go to war, some of them, and but that's not right anyway. They probably shouldn't be able to. It should probably be like 21 before you make that decision.
Mm-hmm.
The whole thing's fucking crazy. It's crazy that they don't have enough security to keep the fucking kids from banging on the windows.
Right.
Like, what kind of nonsense facility do you run? You just didn't see that coming? You guys, do you have the internet? Do you guys have the internet?
It's kind of new. It's kind of new, though. American culture is always.
It's been a few years.
No, I'm saying American culture has
that,
always given, like, their kids recently too. I mean, Jonathan Haidt talks about this, like helicopter parenting and sort of the idea that your kid has his own autonomy and it's very important. I've seen all the new science on this. I mean,
for sure,
your kid
definitely
is allowed to exercise their point of view and have a tantrum, and then you have to show them that there are consequences for that.
Yeah.
That's a new way of looking at, a lot of cultures are like, hey, if you fucking talk to me like that again, I'm going to hit you in the I'm going to take this riding crop and whack your fucking legs or whatever it might be. So I don't know.
We've got it real soft right now. It's a real easy time to be alive. And I think ultimately the ship's going to balance out. I really do. And I think ultimately a lot of these kids that are super radical now will probably stabilize as they get older and more experienced and be more embarrassed with some of the things they've done especially to disrupt free speech. They should really be embarrassed by that because it's so foolish. Like all you have to do is formulate a really good argument to what that idea is, and then you play those ideas out in the court of public opinion. You do it in some sort of a way where you have one person representing one side, one person representing the other side, and you beat that idea with better ideas. And that's what you're supposed to do. That's the whole exercise.
That's right.
And these people that oppose your ideas, you should use that to challenge you to improve your ideas, to make your ideas undeniable. So that when you present that argument, you've looked at it from both sides. There's far too many people, including these people that are interrupting people, that are only looking at an argument from the point of view that they would like to be correct. Yeah. And they're only looking at it like she's a fascist, she's a Nazi. They're not looking at her go, hey, maybe that's just a lady, and maybe she's a nice lady, and maybe she's got some points, and maybe I agree with her, and maybe I don't. But you got to let her talk. Yeah. Like this is all nonsense. It's holding signs up and trying to get attention. This is not the time for that.
It doesn't persuade anybody over to your side. I'll tell you that much.
They're not even trying to do that. No. They're just trying to recruit the troops, and then also they're trying to send out a flag that they care, and they're out here doing the right goddamn thing.
Yeah.
Using my voice.
Yeah.
I'm out here using my voice.
Yeah.
Like it's like. No, you're being a little kid that's interrupting
they're being
person's
tribal.
speech.
They're in their tribe, and it's way easier to be against something than to define what they're for. If you ever ask them what they're for, like I had this conversation
Equality,
with this
bro.
woman. What's that?
Equality of
Well,
everything.
they don't know what that
including
means.
comedians. I want an equal number.
Yeah.
Do you see what happened with Bert?
Yeah. Yeah.
Someone wants an equal number of comedians, men and women.
It's the dumbest shit I've ever heard in my life. Are you funny enough to be on the stage? Okay, then I don't give a fuck what you look like. I don't care if you're...
Nobody wants to hear that.
Yeah.
Remember when
Fuck you.
Jerry Seinfeld got in trouble because they were like, why is comedian cars having coffee all white guys?
Well, I don't know, but there are a lot of funny white guys, so fuck off. A lot of funny black guys too. But.
Well, that's what Jerry Seinfeld said. He said essentially, I don't care what color they are. I speak the language of comedy. I care if they're funny.
Exactly.
And they were like, that sounds racist.
They're so dumb. They're so
like,
dumb.
I'm so sorry, but that sounds racist.
And you're dumb. And you're fucking dumb.
What would you say if you were there and that lady said that? Because there was a woman, two guys are sitting, a guy and a girl are sitting there talking, and they played the Jerry Seinfeld clip. And then the woman, who was African-American, was like, I'm sorry, but that's racist. And I was sitting at home watching.
And I'd say Kevin Hart's the biggest comic in the world, and most of his audiences, most of his ticket payers are white. He's undeniable. Most of the people that go to his movies are white, and he's earned it because he's fucking hilarious.
Right, but that doesn't have anything to do with what she's saying is that he's racist because he's not having black people on his show.
I don't know how to argue with that.
He's saying, no, I don't even care. I just care, are they funny? I don't care. Like, diversity doesn't mean anything to me. I don't care. And she's like, that's so racist. But I feel like when you say something's racist today, you don't have to back it up anymore.
I agree.
People just back off, especially if you're saying a white person's racist. If you say a white person's racist, everybody pulls out the microphone, the magnifying glass. Wait a minute. What have we got here? Are we looking at a racist?
But they'll also say this:
look at that
you're
fucking
racist
thing like
and you
it's
don't
a
even
cube
know
of zirconia.
it. Yeah, you're
there's a
racist.
lot of
You don't
that.
know it. You don't even know it. Like you're the white supremacy's everywhere. And
Well, they teach that at schools now.
Yes, I know.
They teach that also at some jobs.
That's
at
why
some
you have
jobs,
you have to go to bias
counseling.
bias training.
Yeah, bias training.
Anti-bias
bias
training.
What do they call it?
I think it's anti-bias
subconscious.
training. Yeah.
Subconscious bias training. Like you might
great.
even realize you're racist, and you are racist.
Mm-hmm.
How many black guys have gotten laid because of all this, though?
Hopefully a lot.
A lot of hippie white chicks just want to show they're not racist.
I love it.
Just get
I love it.
dick down.
I mean, it's just it's. And I'm in the corner jerking off
What?
and crying.
No. It's just weird, man. It's just I've never seen us so divided, and part of it has to do with Trump for sure. There's like this reaction, like that they feel like really obligated to act. People feel obligated to act and try to make things change, which I think is ultimately good. All this thing, all of what's going on right now does not concern me nearly as much as it does a lot of other people. Because I feel like people are already reacting to it and already going, what in the fuck? You know, and the ship is already starting to right itself.
Well, the Oscars was the lowest rated, I think, in the history of the Oscars.
I
right?
heard that, but it's also 26 million people watched. That's a lot of fucking people. That's a lot. Don't shit on someone who got 26 million people.
No, but I think people
like,
were afraid to be. People get very kind of like, whoa, we're getting political here. And
that's
it's
true,
radical.
but when they looked at the numbers were they were comparing it to like 2013.
Yeah,
they were down 5 million from 2013.
Duncan Trussell with, I'm going to mess this up, but Daniel Bolelli, he's European.
The universe was very, very worried about your self-esteem, and so they figure, Duncan may feel bad about himself, not recording for a week, so come on, go to Duncan already. Help him out.
Self-esteem. Oh my God, man. Wouldn't you love to just get rid of that whole thing altogether? Self-esteem.
Yeah, that's...
Isn't it embarrassing, self-esteem, or isn't it embarrassing when you feel slighted?
Yeah, because it's not... When you have it, big deal, right? You don't even think about it. When you don't have it, you realize what you're lacking every fucking second of the day, right? Because you feel like everything, you don't feel up to par with anything. Yeah. You keep feeling like, I fall short of how I should be, blah, 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 blah. It sucks. It's like being sick, when you're healthy, you don't think about it. But every second you're sick, you're thinking about, damn, how good it is to be healthy.
Yeah. When you're insecure, you're like a human black hole. You're just trying to suck... from people affirmation that you're an okay thing.
Yep.
You know, like how you when you have I don't know, this probably never happens to you, but sometimes when you have sex and
that never happens to me.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I don't mean the sex part, but I mean you have sex and you have the compulsion to ask, was that all right? It probably wasn't. If you gotta ask,
right? I strongly resist that compulsion, but
I do too. But the feeling when you start finding yourself in that place where you're suddenly everything that you do is this kind of subtle manipulation
Right.
to get the person you're with to be like, I think you're great.
That was awesome. You are so amazing. You rock my world.
Oh, God, that is, I hate being on that side of things, man. It's such a squirmy feeling, but what is that feeling? What do you think that is?
No, I mean, I think is to one degree, even the most secure person in the world, there's some level of insecurity in everybody, you know, because there's always the fear of failure, the fear of performance anxiety. Jesus, that's one of the most powerful things out there, you know, whether it's public speaking, whether it's sex, whether it is, who knows, you know, the idea of I'm going to step out, they're all going to look at me, and they're all going to point and laugh because they say, ha ha, you suck. It's like being in like kindergarten or something, right?
Yeah.
It's that experience that when you have it as a tiny kid, pisses you off forever and stays with you.
Yeah, and you're always, depending on how you were raised, that's the idea, is that you're always trying to make up for it in some way. You're trying to fill that gaping hole that is left in you by, if you have like an over demanding parents or parents who are never satisfied with you.
And even if not, of course you're going to have less issues than the guy who had that problem, but even if you don't, everybody likes to be liked, you know. Everybody enjoys the you are so good, blah 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 blah. We can pretend that we don't, we can act like, oh, you know, this flattery, I don't really care, but you're totally getting off on it sometimes. And it's not getting off in a weird selfish ego way, but it's like it makes you feel good, it makes you feel validated that whatever you're putting your energy for, other humans you may like acknowledge it and say, wow, that was awesome. It's silly, you know, it may be silly ego, but still, that's life. And it's...
Yeah, and when you get around somebody who really, really loves you, you just want to be around them all the time.
Of course.
Because that feeling of being around them is like the same feeling you get when you find a heater when it's really cold outside. It gives you this sense of like, okay, I've found homeostasis here. This is what it's all about. Just this feeling. That feeling is the greatest feeling.
Absolutely. It's as good as it gets. That's part of the being in love experience. It's not just them adoring you or worshiping you. That's sort of the ego part. But then the whole thing is based on this exchange of energy where you can't get enough of the other person. They can't get enough of you. And you're like, fuck, this feels so good. I can't believe this.
Yeah. And that goes against everything that we've been taught in capitalism, or in I'm sorry, not capitalism. That's a materialism. Materialists are people who think that you get that same feeling from buying stuff. Like a car, jewels, a nice house.
Of course.
You name it. There's all kinds of people who go running to the world trying to get that feeling. It's so frustrating because you can only get that feeling from another person.
Right.
And you can't make a person feel like that.
That's why there's that vicious cycle that works like clockwork in our society, where people are lonely and miserable because they work too hard, they don't have time and energy to put into building huge, good relationships. Because then you're lonely and miserable, but at least you have some money. What do? You go yourself and you buy yourself something cool to feel a little better about your shitty life. So then for a while you have your new toy and you're like, oh, this is so cool, this is fun, I get to play with my thing. By now you spent money, which means that you need to work even harder at the job you hate, which then makes you even more lonely and miserable, which makes you more likely to want to buy something to feel a little better about your shitty life. And it keeps going and going and going forever, right? In this perfect misery spiral that's not fun.
It's amazing because there's somebody at the end of that game, at that misery spiral, who's probably well aware that you can make humans do that. Like in the same way, if I take my dog's toy, I can make him run in circles after the toy until he gets dizzy, and it's fucking hilarious.
I think somebody's doing that to a lot of people right now.
Yeah, it's almost like humans are turbines, and you can make them spin in this materialistic frenzy, and if you get enough humans spinning in the materialistic frenzy, then it will fucking power your empire. It will power your, this, whatever you want. The energy, you that's how you generate energy from humans.
Right.
Is you get them to run after matter. You get them to chase after material things because they think the material things will give them the feeling of love.
Absolutely. That's like the Matrix, except you have them running so they sweat more. The Matrix with more sweat. That's what they're describing.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it is.
But yeah, it's the reality is that most human beings, and all of us at one point or another, and most human beings a lot of the time, are so easy to manipulate. You know, if you really want to be the evil, fucked up one who's like trying to screw over everyone else and just get what you want out of them, it's really not that hard to do.
No.
It's because we have all these buttons that you can push and we automatically respond if you push it the right way. And so you already can predict, oh, if I do this person is going to respond this way. I'm going to get them to have this emotion, which is going to make that it's not that hard. It's fucked up, but it's
not that hard.
Right.
And it makes sense. It does make sense that there would be people who figured this out and decided to capitalize off of it. And that certainly makes sense, doesn't it? It doesn't seem crazy to think about that.
Did you ever read the 48 Laws of Power?
Yeah, right.
He made bank with it because what he's describing is not a crazy scenario. I mean, he's having fun playing bad boy with that.
Yes.
But the reality is he's describing the way things are a lot of the time. Now, not everybody's conscious of it. Not everybody's intentionally applying all of those things. But a lot of that stuff, that's why he resonated with people, because it's how it is.
He was trying to be Machiavelli.
Yeah. And he was, part of it, I think there's an element of salesmanship there that is like, makes it more controversial if you state it without any moral judgment whatsoever, just stating it exactly for what it is in this semi-Machiavellian type of way. I actually had Robert Greene on my podcast. I haven't released the episode yet, but I did interview him. He's a really nice guy, when you interact with him.
Sure.
But he's just saying, look, this is the way things are. Learn about it. How you're going to use these ideas, fucking up to you. You know? If you want to be a power manipulating guy, you do that. If you want to use that just to make sure other people don't use it on you, great. But he's removing the moral aspect of it. He's like, I'm teaching you. To me, the way I conceive of it is like being a martial art teacher. This is how you pop the elbow. This is how you, doesn't mean you go out and do it on the old lady. It means these are the tools. How you use them, that's your choice.
Why do you think people have such a problem with the rules being laid out instead of being subtle or subconscious? Like people get mad about like, I actually am not fond of this type of literature. It just seems annoying. But like pickup artist literature, Machiavelli, The Prince, The Laws of Power, anything that involves just putting down clearly one specific type of social dynamic, that being control dynamics or being how to manipulate other people, it just does have this whiff of evil to it. Like, you're not supposed to say it.
Right.
Why?
And well, I mean, there are two levels. One is some of the way these things can be used are objectively fucked up, right? They're just something that's manipulative and evil about it.
Yeah.
But it's like fighting. You can use fighting techniques to rob an old lady, which means you're an evil, fucked up human being. You can use fighting techniques for the techniques are what they are, but there's no morality attached to them. It's the context in which you choose to use them, how you choose to use them, and all of that. In some cases, it's obvious that the whole purpose is manipulative. Like the whole thing about how to essentially approaching dating as
hunting.
Yeah, mark your victim kind of thing. It's like, what kind of a sick motherfucker are you? Really?
Yeah.
That's how you approach things? Jesus.
Kelly Slater. He's a genius.
Surgery for, a 6-month stint. And luckily they think that they got it out with surgery, but it's all sorts of lifestyle changes and diet and all sorts of things you got to implement. And he at one point he was looking at weeks to live, and I'm looking at weeks or months till surf. So
really puts it in context.
No, I don't even. It doesn't. I just try to think of those things, and it's easy when something gets taken away from you that you're used to having, you take it for granted, and now I'm thinking like, I'm already picturing getting back into surfing and thinking, how much risk do you want to take on a wave, and how much enjoyment can you have from the things you do? I'm already like going through that in my head. So I'm thinking, maybe I want to take it easy for a while and not risk getting hurt for at least a couple of years. But who knows, Hey, you could die tomorrow. So
I think I think Jerry Lopez has said something like, at his age, you surf today so that you can surf tomorrow. Like all your surfing today is centered on being able to surf tomorrow. So kind of like you said, you seem like someone who's really aware of mortality. I mean, I've always had that impression of you, that you're very aware of life can go at any time, and it seems like something that is on the front of your mind. Is that accurate?
I think it kind of is. For whatever reason, I guess most likely just it's a statistical game, but I just know so many people. But I have had a lot of people I know die, and in all sorts of different ways. From I had 2 friends commit suicide last year. I've lost a lot of friends to cancer, and random things from murders to diseases and car accidents and drownings. I've lost a lot of people in my life. My father died from cancer in the early 2000s. So, I had a guy. I was just telling my girlfriend this morning. Oh, I forgot to tell you. Like 3 weeks ago, the guy who's kind of like my dad from my Barbados family died. And he had a big sort of cystic thing in his stomach, and it exploded, and he died. And he had a stroke a few years ago, so he had some health issues. But yeah, I'm aware of it. I'm definitely aware of our mortality, and I think maybe it's on the front of my mind, not only because it's happened a lot around me, but also because it is a reality. With all the travel I do and the things that I enjoy doing, surfing the place I do around the world, it could happen. You got to be at ease and at peace with that happening, and maybe I think about it a lot so that I am. Yeah.
But it doesn't seem like something that particularly terrifies you. It
No,
more
not
seems
really.
like a enjoy the present kind of a thing.
Yeah, no, it doesn't really terrify me. I think dying in a horrible way would terrify me, but I think dying doing something you love, surfing, I don't think is a terrifying thing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's scary, the idea of drowning, but it's not. I think, looking back at your life, if you could choose, like, okay, you got this much time, how would you want to die? I think the best way is just go to sleep and you don't wake up. I think the second best way is just dying doing whatever you love doing the most.
I've heard that if you drown in the moments right before you die, you kind of get a feeling of ecstasy or something like that from being oxygen starved. Have you ever heard of this?
I've heard that, but how does anyone really truly know that?
Yeah, like who are they interviewing that actually went through that and lived?
I thought I spoke to Aaron Gold, and he didn't say that, and I don't. And I talked to Evan Geiselman a bit about it, and I don't remember him. He just kind of said he didn't remember anything. But everyone's experience would probably be different. That maybe comes close to drowning and whatever. I just read this crazy story. This woman, her car broke down in I don't know, Alaska or wherever it was.
Yeah.
Maybe up in North Dakota. It was somewhere cold in the north.
Cold snow.
And she attempted, once her car got too cold, she attempted to walk like, I don't know how many miles back to a friend's house. And she got like 15 yards. This is a pretty well-known story. I even looked it up on Wiki and stuff to kind of verify it in a couple different sources online.
Yeah. It corroborated your sources.
Corroborated this. I'm like, this is crazy. And this was like, let's say at like, they're guessing like at 1 or 2 in the morning. She got to this. She walked. She gets like 15 feet from her friend's doorway and basically falls over and freezes to death. The guy wakes up at like 7 or 8 in the morning, finds her outside, and they went and thawed her out, and she came back too. Yeah.
There's no way that happened.
Yeah.
They thought her like she basically was like cryogenically frozen.
She basically was cryogenically frozen, supposedly for like hours.
And they brought her back to life after hours.
She was fine. And so I didn't Snopes it though. But
or we could Snopes this after this conversation, because that sounds unreal, man. That
sounds cool, man.
Right?
It's a bad pun.
All right. It sounds cool. There you go. Yeah. I thought cryogenic freezing was only for billionaires who could do this kind of thing.
You can self-cryogenically freeze apparently.
Oh man.
But there has been verified case of people who've been under freezing cold water for 40 minutes at a time, 50 minutes at a time, and lived.
Breath holding or breathing?
No, died, like they drowned in cold, freezing water.
Really?
There was a well-known case where a person was in a kayak and then there's video of the whole thing too. And they got pinned against this bridge sideways and basically just stuck underwater. And with all the pressure, they couldn't free the kayak. And the thing was stuck there for like 45 minutes, 50 minutes before they freed the person, got him up. Mm-hmm. And they were totally gone for like, you know, they were probably gone for 45 minutes or whatever. And their body was so cold and everything started moving so slowly because it was like ice water.
Yeah.
That they were able to bring him back in the hospital.
Jeez,
and they were
man.
fine.
So a couple of minutes ago, you mentioned, you know, flying all over the world and stuff like that. I mean, obviously flying is really safe, but when I take off in an airplane, the first thing I always think in my head is like, am I okay dying right now? And if the answer is no, I kind of reevaluate my life during the flight. But it's something I've always wanted to ask you.
It's too late, man.
Well, hey, but if you land, you're going to be okay. This is something I've always wanted to ask you. I mean, when we think of your favorite surf spots that you travel to, we think of Pipeline, Snapper, Cloudbreak. I've always wondered, are there better waves that you surf that you just don't name because they're still secrets?
There's a couple, but you know, I used to really love going to Barbados down to Surf Soup Bowl a lot, and I just haven't been much in the last few years just because of my you know, I've been living in California more or Hawaii or Australia, and my travel schedule just hasn't put me in that area having any free time at all when the swells are good there. So. But I really love Soup Bowl. It's one of the most high-performance waves on Earth. Mm-hmm. And, you know, I got another wave I go to with some friends like once a year for a couple days. It's amazing. Mm-hmm. But if the conditions don't line up, you basically waste your money and you're better like fishing. Mm-hmm. So, but I still think there's just a ton of great waves out there that I haven't had any time around to go and just spend time at, you know. Like Japan, for instance. Mm-hmm. Go spend a 6-week period there in the typhoon season and chase some river mouse, and you'll probably get the best waves you've ever seen.
Mm-hmm. If you can sit there for enough weeks to get the swell.
Yeah. If you can handle the radiation.
Oof, yeah, that's not going anywhere, right? So you mentioned the radiation. You also mentioned a story of a woman who accidentally cryogenically froze herself. I mean, it seems like you do a lot of reading. And
I do a lot of reading.
So even right now, you know, you're laid up, your foot's hurt. What are your favorite YouTube channels? What are your favorite news sources? Like, you know, we all have our habit when we sit down at a laptop or sit down at our phone. I mean, what do you check? What's in your cycle of things that you check when it comes to news sources or favorite Instagram follows, YouTube channels, anything like that?
I'll look through a lot of different news sources. A lot of time I try to find some kind of alternative media to read. And, you know, topics I like are sort of technology, science, health, you know, a little bit of political.
Thank you, folks, for listening. Tune in next week for more podcasts of all podcasts.
You get a shiver in the dark, it's raining in the park, but meantime, sound of the river, you stop and you hold everything. A band is blowing Dixie, double fall time. You feel alright when you hear the music ring. Well, now you step inside, but you don't see too many faces. Coming in out of the rain, they hear the jazz go down. Competition in other places, but the horns, they blowing that sound. Way on down south, way on down south, London town. Check out Guitar George, he knows all the chords. But it's strictly rhythm, he doesn't wanna make it cry or sing. If then an old guitar is all he can afford, when he gets up under the lights to play his thing, daytime job. He's doing alright. He can play the honky tonk like anything, saving it up Friday night with the Sultans, with the Sultans of swing. Sultans